Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are on day 11 of the 12 days of Stitchmas Calendar. So if you don't want to see what's in day 11, stop watching now, save this video for later and watch it later, because we are going to open up the window and then I'm going to create a card using the stitching die from day 11. And we have this adorable wreath die here with a bow die for it. This is such a cute set, and I think it would work both for traditional colored Christmas cards as well as non-traditional colored Christmas cards. And that bow, you could even use it with the poinsettia die for the day 8. You could use it for a bunch of different things, so I think that could be quite handy. I chose to do some non-traditional colors here. I have the bow die cut in Dahlia cardstock, and I have the wreath die cut in waterfall cardstock. Both of those are in the add-on kit. I die cut the wreath with the stitching insert in it for both the top layer that I'm going to stitch as well as the bottom layer. The outside and the inside part of the die are separate because of the shape. There was no way to make that die one piece, and I wasn't confident that I was going to get the exact spacing to do the top part with the stitching die in it and then do the bottom part. So I decided to make it easy and just do two of exactly the same thing and just use one of them to glue underneath. It's not going to make any difference. We're not going to see the one underneath anyways. So it was easiest to leave that stitching die in there and die cut two of the same one. Only one did I pierce out all of the holes to make sure that I had the holes open for the stitching. The back one, the holes are mostly still in there. Some of them fell out when I did the die cutting. Some are going to fall out when I'm doing the gluing together. I just left them there. So this die set, or this wreath, has 11 different kind of sunburst patterns here that are very easy to stitch, very intuitive to stitch. I'm doing a few of them on camera. The rest I'm going to do off camera because it gets fairly repetitive. So I'm using the darker of the turquoise threads or flosses that are in the add-on kit. You could use the gold metallic thread in here too. I think that would be really pretty. The white would be really pretty. You've got a lot of options when it comes to this. And I think you could even create wreaths for throughout the year or year round. They're not necessarily just for Christmas or for the holidays anymore. So it's something that you could have fun with throughout the year. So once I am done the stitching here, I'm going to glue on the backing. The wreath itself is, or the bow itself is very easy to put together. Each one of those pieces has kind of a square where they all join together. So I just put a dot of the liquid glue on that square and then piled them up on top of each other. And you can adjust the pieces so that bow hangs how you want it. If you want it a certain way on the wreath, you can wait till your wreath is on your card and then attach it or put it together then. For the front of the card, again, I'm just keeping a white simple card base, and then I'm going to stamp my sentiment with Salvage Patina Distress ink. It matches the waterfall cardstock beautifully. I just chose one of the stamped sentiments that is in the add-on kit. This is one of those ones that I think you could even do like a foiled sentiment on it. That would be really pretty too, but I'm just trying to keep with what is in the 12 Days of Stitchmas Calendar as well as the add-on kit. Now that we have our sentiment stamped on there, and I typically stamp the sentiment on before assembling my card, just at the off chance that I mess something up. It's much easier to swap out the card base before everything is glued on. Now I can glue on my pieces to the front of the card, and I like to shape my bow kind of similar to how I shaped my poinsettia for day 8 and I think day 9, or whichever day I added it on as well. I like to use my fingers just to kind of curl it, give it a little bit of extra shape to it. You don't necessarily have to, it's just something that I like to do. To finish off the little bursts or star bursts in the wreath, I'm just adding one of the tiny pearls to it. You could also add one of the aquamarine gems. Those would be pretty as well and would add a really nice sparkle to it. I thought the pearls worked well with the white card base and just finished that off and tied that all together. I kept this very simple, just putting it on a white card base, but you could certainly do it on a white panel and then have one of the coordinating colors that were in the wreath or the bow as a mat around that. That would work really well as well. Here is the finished card. Again, very clean and simple, but I absolutely love it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you tomorrow for our very last day, and we'll see what's in day 12.